It began with a flash across every screen. Iran launches ballistic missiles, strikes, hit Israeli Prime Minister's office. The world gasped. Newsrooms scrambled. Sirens screamed across Tel Aviv. Social media exploded with rumors and live footage of explosions lighting up the night sky. Every moment felt longer than the last. The Israeli Prime Minister's office was at the center. Was Netanyahu alive or dead? Conflicting reports poured in. Government officials denied casualties, but panic spread in the streets. Families huddled in bomb shelters. Journalists from CNN, BBC, and Al Jazeera reported chaos from every angle. The truth was hard to find. Markets shuddered, oil prices spiked. Leaders from Washington to Moscow convened emergency meetings. The world had watched the tension grow for months, but now it was war. The question echoed everywhere. How far would this escalate? The attack was just the beginning. Israel braced itself. Iran reveled in the moment. The world stood on the edge, waiting for what would come next. The escalation was sudden, sharp, and deadly. Iranian forces launched dozens of ballistic missiles toward Israel. The targets were clear military bases, communication hubs, and, most dramatically, the Prime Minister's office in Jerusalem. Air raid sirens blared as the Iron Dome sprang into action. Some missiles were intercepted, others slipped through. The city shook as explosions echoed through the night. Windows shattered miles away. Smoke and flames rose from the targeted sites. Emergency services raced toward the devastation, battling fires and searching for survivors amid the rubble. Satellite images later revealed craters near the heart of Israel's government. The attack was not a warning, it was an act of war. The Israeli military launched immediate retaliatory strikes, targeting Iranian positions in Syria and Iraq. The world watched as the region spiraled closer to all-out conflict. For millions, sleep became impossible. Parents comforted terrified children. Soldiers rushed to their posts. The sense of security Israelis once knew had vanished, replaced by fear and determination. Within hours, the United States announced its support for Israel. Troops in the region went on high alert. American warships moved closer to the eastern Mediterranean. France and the United Kingdom condemned Iran's attack. Germany called for restraint, but offered intelligence support. NATO met in emergency session. Regional militias, loyal to Iran, joined the assault. Rockets fired from Lebanon and Syria intensified the barrage. Hezbollah, Iran's ally, claimed responsibility for attacks on northern Israel. In Iraq, militias launched drones at U.S. bases, testing American resolve. Diplomats struggled to keep up. Russia urged caution, but hinted at support for Iran's right to self-defense. China called for calm, fearing the impact on oil supplies. Arab governments were divided, some silent, others demanding an end to the violence. The world order shifted, old alliances were tested. New dangers emerged as each nation weighed its next move. The Middle East was on fire, and no one could predict what would come next. Iranian state media wasted no time. "We struck at the heart of Israeli command," declared a spokesperson. Tehran claimed it had targeted not just military sites, but the Israeli Prime Minister himself. The message was clear. Iran wanted to shake Israel's leadership. Rumors swirled about Netanyahu's fate. Iranian officials insisted he was dead. Israeli sources denied it, but uncertainty reigned. Photos of the damaged Prime Minister's office circulated online. Some believed the images, others called them staged. Disinformation spread faster than the missiles themselves. Iran also said it hit key intelligence centers and Air Force bases. They claimed this was a punishment for Israeli actions in Syria and against Iranian interests. The world wondered if this was just the beginning of a new phase in the conflict. For Israel, the attack was deeply personal. It was not only an assault on buildings, but on national pride and leadership. The question lingered. How would Israel respond, and could Netanyahu's government hold together? As tensions soared, a stunning announcement rocked Tehran. Iranian state media confirmed the death of the supreme leader. His portrait faded from national broadcasts. Millions of Iranians flooded the streets, some in mourning, others in shock. Iran's most powerful figure was gone at the height of war. No cause of death was given. Some whispered about assassination or stress-induced illness. The government declared days of mourning, but moved quickly to maintain order. The Revolutionary Guard took control of key sites. Tanks lined the streets around government buildings. Curfews were imposed in major cities. The power vacuum was immediate. Rival factions within the regime vied for control. The Assembly of Experts called emergency meetings to appoint a successor. Protesters clashed with security forces in some neighborhoods. Uncertainty gripped the nation as leaders scrambled to project stability. Outside Iran, analysts warned of chaos spilling over into the region. The death of the supreme leader in wartime threatened to destabilize not just Iran, but every neighboring state. Israel moved fast to calm the nation. Prime Minister Netanyahu appeared live on television, standing firm before a battered office. "I am alive. I am leading," he declared. His voice was steady, but, the lines on his face showed the strain. The government dismissed Iranian claims as fabrication and psychological warfare. The Israeli military mobilized reserves. Parliament convened in an underground shelter. Air defense systems were reinforced across the country. Schools and businesses closed in high-risk areas. The national mood shifted from panic to resolve. "We will not be broken," Netanyahu vowed. Disinformation campaigns continued online. Video clips, some fake, circulated on social media. Israel's security services urged citizens to trust only official sources. The world watched as Netanyahu, battered and defiant, rallied his nation. The survival of his government became a symbol of Israeli resilience. Opposition parties joined the unity government. For now, political debate gave way to national solidarity. Israel was at war and determined to fight back. The real cost of war was measured in shattered lives. In Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, and Haifa, families spent nights in bomb shelters. Schools shut down. Hospitals overflowed with wounded. Supermarkets emptied as people rushed to buy supplies. Fear was everywhere, but so was determination. In Iran, daily life unraveled. The supreme leader's death left many uncertain about the future. Some neighborhoods erupted in protest. Others mourned quietly. Fuel and food shortages grew worse. Air raid sirens sent families racing to underground shelters in Tehran and Isfahan. Children stopped going to school. Parents worried about loved ones at the front. The elderly struggled to find medicine. Across both countries, the sound of sirens became routine. The war had reached into every home, changing ordinary life overnight. Social media became a lifeline. People shared updates, checked on friends, and organized aid. But the sense of safety was gone. No one knew when, if ever, normal life would return. The conflict did not stay between Iran and Israel. Hezbollah in Lebanon launched rockets at northern Israeli cities. Sirens wailed in Haifa and Nahariya. Israeli jets responded with airstrikes deep into Lebanon. Civilians fled the border areas, fearing a new front in the war. Militias in Iraq and Syria also joined the fight. Drones targeted U.S. bases, though American casualties were avoided. The violence threatened to pull more countries into the conflict. Jordan and Egypt fortified their borders. Turkey issued warnings, but braced for refugees and instability. The United States increased its military presence. Aircraft carriers patrolled the Mediterranean. Patriot missile batteries were deployed to defend allies. European governments evacuated their citizens from high-risk areas. The region was a tinderbox. Old rivalries flared as new alliances formed. The risk of a wider war grew with every passing hour. Diplomats raced to stop the wildfire, but their efforts struggled against the momentum of violence. The world now stands at a crossroads. War has changed lives in Israel, Iran, and beyond. Markets remain unstable. Oil prices climb. Humanitarian agencies plead for access to the wounded and displaced. The risk of escalation looms. Could diplomacy still succeed, or would the violence spiral out of control? Debates rage within both countries. Some call for unity and perseverance. Others demand peace, angry at the cost of war. Israel's leaders reject calls to back down. Iran's factions struggle to fill the void left by the supreme leader. The region waits for a signal, any sign that calm might return. But in the darkness, stories of resilience shine through. Doctors work around the clock. Neighbors help each other survive. Children draw pictures of peace, even as bombs fall outside their windows. The human spirit endures. As the dust settles, one question remains. Can hope survive in a time of war? The world watches, waiting for the answer, hoping for peace, and refusing to give in to despair.